nominated for the Emerging Entertainers Award, and you can download their app at Cast Vote GH on the App Store and also on the Google Play Store, and you can vote as many times as you want. Any category that has Radio Guy online, you can actually go in to vote for also hoping to share your thoughts with us. If today is your birthday, leave your comments down below so that we will be able to throw you a big birthday shout out. Today we'll be looking at the daily guide and also the daily graphic. We still have the VP, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, so making news, and he is on the front page of the daily guide today. And I have Evans joining me. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How has your night been?
Actually, yesterday I left here early and then went to sleep a little bit.
So you had a lot of rest.
Yes, I had a lot of rest. I was very tired yesterday, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine today.
Yes, of course. Divine selection catches. What can you do?
But I'm sure you are doing well too.
I'm very well. I'm so very well this morning. I'm in high spirits this morning.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
Oh, of course.
Good to hear.
You always have to start your morning right. You were starting this right with some good praise. For me, I think it makes my morning.
Yeah.
If I'm coming in with some really good songs of praise, and that is exactly what we did right here. So you are looking at the daily graphic, and I have the daily guide with me.
Yeah, so daily graphic, that is what I have with me, and on the front page of the daily graphic we shall be looking at some of the headlines making waves here on the front page. And Valco board outlines recovery plan. I mean, that is Dr. Henry Binya, chairman of the Valco board, saying this, and that story can be found on the page 16 of the daily graphic. And all customers of collapsed banks paid. I mean, there's a story also on the front page of the daily graphic, and you see 95% of savings and loans microfinance depositors settled. I mean, Bank of Ghana is the one bringing out this story. And then the Sanitation Ministry, Zoom Lion, present pickup vehicles to police and armed forces. That story is also found on page 22 and 27 of the daily graphic. And the big one for me, regulate financing of political party campaigns, CSOs. I mean,
that is the big one for you. You said that. Let's look at the back of the daily graphic. So we can get to the daily graphic.
And then on the back page of the daily graphic we have motorbike accidents in Ashanti region on the rise. So this story, actually I don't know, it's coming. You know, our ex-president Mahama has said that when he's voted, when he's given the mandate again come this 2020, he's going to legalize the operation of Okada or motor bicycles. And I mean, people have said that that's not a good policy, because we usually experience a lot of motor accidents. And then at the back page of the daily graphic, it is reported that motorbike accidents in Ashanti region is on the rise. So I don't know, probably if the president is going to legalize Okada, then that is what we are going to be experiencing. I don't really know. Okay, so reconstruction of Tema Industrial Area, Bong Road begins. Another good news. I mean, this year MPP has said year of infrastructure. Yes, and so reconstruction of Tema Industrial Area, Bong Road begins. That is also on the back page of the daily graphic. So those are some of the stories. We shall be getting into it to see what is there.
On the daily guide, also, we have the big story that can be found on page 3. That is Bawumia dares NDC to share project in 2 weeks. Now, he was talking at Peace FM studio yesterday, and it was quite a long, very long hours of interview, and I really had time to watch it. So I really heard everything that he said, and he has dared apparently the NDC to show projects that they say were captured in their green book in 2 weeks. And also for Zoom Lion story, we have police soldiers get 5 cars from ministry. Zoom Lion and Ahoy Martin Amidu, he's on Ahoy is on Martin Amidu's case, says that Ahoy has infected mind, according to Martin Amidu. And we have President Akufo-Addo also on the front page. NPP student loan rent plans would reduce mental cases, according to President Nana Akufo-Addo. And also we have educational sector also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, saying NAGRAT lauds free Wi-Fi in schools, which can be found on page 6. And also to the back page of the Daily Guide, where that is the spot for most of their sports stories. Mr. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia also says that Zongos get boost sports, and Mohamed Polo, who is also at the back page, says Polo blast hearts for Esso exit, and also referee demoted after holiday with players, and players Scott's wedding to clarify criticisms. We have a picture of Zinchenko and Pep Guardiola and Zidane also at the back page, and we'll be getting into some of the stories inside the Daily Guide. But before that, take us into the most accumulating story that you said is really on your heart about about regulating finances for this 2020 elections and campaign, according to
like I said, this story is found on the page 16 of the Daily Graphic, and it says regulate financing of political party campaigns, CSOs. Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, CSOs, has called for collective action involving state and non-actors to regulate the financing of political party campaigns to safeguard the country's democracy. Towards achieving the goal, the CSOs are rallying support from accountability and governance institutions to put a draft bill on political party financing before Parliament to cap the limit to political campaign expenditure. The CSOs, which are leading a national dialogue on the issue, are the Star Ghana Foundation, the Center for Democratic Development (CDD) Ghana, and the Ghana Integrity Initiative (GII) are the fourth national dialogue on campaign financing held in Accra yesterday. Discussing said the time had come for bold steps to be taken to amend the Political Parties Act 2000, Act 574, and introduce watertight regimes to curb the overly monetization of the electoral process. The discussants were the Executive Director of CDD Ghana, Professor Kwesi Prempeh, the embattled Auditor General, Mr. Daniel Yadom Levo, the Chairperson of the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, Ms. Josephine Nkrumah, and the Head of the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Mame Jeche Jan Do. So yes, that's a very great story over there. And then to say that they should, regulate the financing of let's political party campaigns.
Let's look at financing of political party campaigns. I know the EC Electoral Commission of Ghana has an amount that it gives to political parties to help in their campaign processes. But let's look at it now. Do you think political parties do pump in so much money during political campaigns?
See, political parties, as we are talking about, it's not all political parties that have their money. You get it? So during elections, we get to see that the two leading political parties, the NDC and the MPP, are the people that you could see they are having a gargantuan rallies and all that because they have the money. And talk of even their internal party politics, they when people want to become a member of parliament or to stand for the political party, they put in a lot of money and all that. Where do they get all this money from to finance their campaigns, to finance their activities that they are doing in this? There was a case recently when the MPP held their parliamentary this one for their candidates, and somebody bought bicycles and all that for
and branded them.
bought
And after
bicycles,
he lost, he
and then the
went
person took them
took,
back.
took
You
them
see,
back. Now we
this
have seen even Gary being packaged with
beans.
political phases, with beans, with political phases, with people who are standing for whether parliamentary elections or whatever. We have
You
seen
see,
a lot of it.
the issue that they use a lot of money because they have to bribe their ways through to get to parliament.
Well,
They pay people
you
huge
think,
sums
you
of
think,
money.
you think it's they pay their way through.
They pay.
So
What they
that
do is
means-
paying
so
their
that-
way
so
through
that means they
to
don't
get to
really-
parliament.
They don't really deserve it.
Some do not deserve to be in parliament, actually. Some, and some, that's the truth. Some do not deserve, because, I mean, if you are paying your way through to parliament, then what are you doing? See, my biggest problem is, in this country, I've never seen an opposition member of parliament where the person stands in for a policy that maybe the ruling government brings in. All the time when there are policies in parliament, there are bills in parliament to be passed into laws, we see that the opposition always walk out. And I ask myself, is it that some of those policies are not good, or what? We don't get it. So they get into power, and then they serve their political party. They don't serve the nation. So some of them do not deserve to be there because they bribe their way or they pay their way through to get to parliament. It is really disturbing for our democracy. It is not good for us, and that's why we are not seeing development. Because probably after using after using about $85,000 or something to get to parliament, when they come, they have to recoup, or they want to recoup their money back, and that is what prevents them from even in saying the truth, because they need to do some certain things, dubious things, to get their money back. You see, so I think they should look at it. They should bring that act or that law to regulate their activities, political parties.
Now, do you think amount of monies that are being given to political parties by the EC to help in their campaign processes, do you think that it should be given according to the size of the party? So if we have major political parties in the country and we have minor political parties, do you think they all deserve, if it is 500 Ghana cedis that EC is given out, they should give out 500 cedis to MPP,
Why not?
500 cedis to NDC, 500 cedis to GAM, 500 cedis to CPP, despite the fact that
The size of the party.
despite the size of the party.
Why won't you give them the same amount of money? You have to give them the same amount of money, because I mean they are all political parties. They are all also fighting to get into government or something. So I think to help matters, it has to be fair enough. Everybody must get the same amount of money. It shouldn't be like you are giving this person a 10,000 and you give this party a 5,000. I mean, it is not fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's look at a story in the Daily Guide, the one that took the major part of the front page. That is Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has insisted that in reality, most of the project that the erstwhile NDC government is boasting about do not exist. Therefore, he has given the NDC members a 2-week ultimatum to create a website similar to the infrastructure delivery tracker introduced by the New Patriotic Party government and publish all their projects when they were at the helm. Now, according to him, he doubts if they can create the website and publish their so-called project for people to see, since to him, most of their projects are ghost projects, only found in the propaganda green book. He also added that, he also said that the NDC members, as usual of them, tend to peddle falsehood about the NDP just for vote against election, as elections are getting closer. He also added that when only resorted to criticizing government projects without any credible evidence, they should belong to history because he keeps on insisting that we should challenge. There should be a challenge to display their project, and that is Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. Now there has been a lot of talks going on about infrastructure, especially before his major interview yesterday at Peace FM. Now let's look at some of the infrastructure that the NDC government actually made, and that was published in the Green Book. Do you think that they are ghost projects, as Dr. Mahamadou said?
Ghost projects, as in what? I mean, it's not all the projects that are ghost. Some of them we saw them.
We saw them.
I mean, just the circle interchange over here.
Yes.
It is there.
It's a major
Everybody can see it.
Yes.
And then they have the University of Ghana Medical, and that one too. So I mean, they did it, but just that they also made a mistake where some places it is not done, and they said it is done,
Or some places were in process.
and then
Process of doing them.
they said that it is completed, and that's the problem. But to say ghost project, me, when it comes to this these political parties talk of infrastructure and all that,
I feel it is not a yardstick.
we have been saying this, over and over and over. That's, see, Ghana, our problems are beyond what they are doing. Our problems as a country is actually beyond. We have to go back to the fundamentals. We have to start again. Our problem, that is it. We need to look at housing. We need to look at it very well. We need to look at electricity, water, and all that. Some people are in the villages, they are not getting certain basic things, and we are here talking about infrastructure that are see. And one thing that even pisses off is we you see, political parties come. NDC was in power. They did this. They constructed this University of Ghana medical this one, and then the other party comes and they do not want to make use of it, or they do not want to
Or they would not want to
continue
continue
the project,
the
or
development of it.
I mean, what are we doing to our people? What are we doing? So we need to talk. We need to, as a youth, we need to start thinking differently and see that no, they can't play politics with our lives like that. Whether the project are whatever, or they are whatever, what they have to do, they need to do them. They need to do the basic things for us. Jobs must be created. Things must be done for us so that we get going. It's not about this infrastructure brouhaha back and forth, who did this and who did that. Charlie, me, it doesn't move me anyway.
Well, we are in a political year. So
It doesn't
we are
move me.
We are in an election year. We are in an election, so we should be expecting more of these things that are going on.
But people have said that it is good. On the other hand, it is good because this time people are saying we are not experiencing politics of insult, but this time it is a politics of debate where we are saying, okay, show what you've done. I'll also show what I have done,
Sure.
and it is going to help in some way. But me, on the broader scope, I don't think that we have to be here at this time, at this moment as a country. We need to look at things and do things right. That's all.
Okay.
Even data in this country is a problem.
Yes,
We do not.
have a data.
Seriously.
National data.
It's a problem for us. And how do you
We don't
expect
have a
us
national data.
to
We don't
develop?
have a national agenda.
Yes. How do you expect us to develop like this?
Okay. So positive change, Medina. Positive change in Medina Accra says this government has become more than a military regime government, always destroying local businesses. In less than 3 years in office, banks are gone, financial institutions are gone, radio and TV stations are also gone, and they keep telling us that they have created more employment for the youth than any other government. Vote for John and Jane for a better Ghana agenda. Thank you so much. And don't forget that you can leave your messages on our comment section down below, and we will be able to read them all out for you. We are currently discussing Dr. Bawumia daring the NDC to show evidence of their infrastructure that they actually presented. Now, the latter part of the article says that we have delivered over 18,000 projects, and the NDC so far is just questioning just 26 of them not to exist. even if it is true that the 26 don't exist, it shows that the MPP has done marvelously well in less than 4 years. The 26 infrastructural project that NDC has issues about are very small. It shows that we have delivered 99% of the overpublished of the over 18,000 projects we have published on the website, and that is fantastic. According to them, all over Ghana, they have they have delivered 18,000 projects so far. Well, I wonder if it is in part of Accra, because I personally have seen minute projects that has been going
But
on.
you see,
Roads where I feel like they are dilapidated and they should do it, or they should redo it all over again, are being filled with asphalt, and in a few months to come we are still going to have all of these potholes on the road
developing again.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it drives me crazy,
You see,
because
so
on that road personally, at the old barrier Kokobiti
yeah.
road, I have seen it on a couple of times that they have come to fill in the potholes, put on asphalt on the places where there are a bit of potholes. And I feel like if we are trying to sustain development in Ghana, if we are building infrastructure, we should build infrastructure
That will last.
would last.
Yes.
That will be sustained.
So if it will be done, it should be done well.
It should be done well.
Yes.
We shouldn't do it a honey hop. Say in a few months to come, we move to Tubioma.
And the thing is that, you see, when Ghanaians see that, okay, the road has been constructed, they are okay. They are not even checking the quality or how long this thing is going to last.
The only thing is we hear drivers talk about I'm on country and asphalt in the trim. It was recently I was in the title saying asphalt in the trim and all the fast. But if we are going to allow political parties to win our votes with infrastructure, even though it is not supposed to be so, I think that we should be looking at quality infrastructure.
Yes.
Not just any infrastructure that since you talk about we are going to wait for the same thing again. I'm not really into that. And we still have Dr. Bauma Maumia saying that the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is a workaholic, and he pushes them to actually work hard. And he was also asked if he has any presidential ambition, and he cleverly and tactfully didn't respond to the message directly. Because we are looking at if the president should win these 2020 elections, that should be his last term.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That should be his last term.
That's his last term,
according to the parties, the MPP
manifesto,
and according to their party constitution. So we are also looking at Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, maybe in the near future, standing
to be president.
as the president, or is he going to step aside for us to look for a new flag bearer? But I believe that definitely there is going to be something like that, because that is what we have seen over the years. We saw Atamils being late John Evans Atamils being VP to Rawlings, former President Jerry Rawlings, and later we saw him being the flag bearer of the NDC, whilst Mahama was his vice president. He passed on, and we saw John Dramani Mahama being the flag bearer of the NDC. So I definitely would want to see something like that, but he didn't answer it anyway, because he says that they are focusing on infrastructure and winning the 2020 elections. Now, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has received plaudit for his promise to grant student loans without the use of guarantors, and also establish a national rental assistance scheme to offer soft loans to young people to rent affordable apartments after school. Now, according to Professor Joseph Osafo, who is the head of psychology of the psychology department at the University of Ghana, the New Patriotic Party (NPP) proposals, when fully implemented, would reduce mental case among the youth in particular. Now, he said the pressures of funding for students, as well as high cost for rent, as well as high cost for rent has caused mental cases in the youth. I don't know how true that is, because he also added to say that it has become a source of worry, and most of them do end up in the mental hospitals due to loss of jobs and inability to find shelter. It is going to be a good thing, but I am most concerned about people, the homeless people who can't afford, who can't afford anything. We hear every day affordable housing.
Where is it?
Affordable housing. How many people will be able to afford this affordable housing? Now you call them. There has been a situation whereby we called a company that was being piloted for affordable housing, and they were starting their prices from 20,000 Ghana cedis and about.
And you expect a university student.
I ask how much will a low income salary earner, a middle income salary earner, income earner would be able to, how many years would
The
he
person
or she
cannot
be
even
able
afford.
to
How much
save?
has the person even
Yes.
saved? How much is in the person's account?
Yes.
Hey. You see, when it comes to this housing issue, see, that's why I would say that we have been failed for a very long time.
Right.
This country has been failed. They
Right.
failed us for 20-something years.
Right.
Now, why is it that countries like Libya, where Muammar Gaddafi was president, they had these systems? It is an African country.
Right.
It's not a European. I don't want to talk
Right.
about a European country.
Right.
It's an African country.
Right.
And why is it that they were able to do these things for their youth to have accommodation, their youth to have jobs to do?
Right.
Libya, they were not traveling. I mean, Libya, people were not really traveling outside Libya like that, because if you are there, you are comfortable.
Sure.
But Ghana here, most of our youth want to ply. They want to use the Mediterranean and cross to a European country. They
Just
want to go and
search
pass through Brazil, come and pass through the whatever forest, and get to Panama, get to Mexico, and get to the US. Just because there are no opportunities here. Even a place to put your head is a
Becomes
problem. In Ghana here, if you want to go and rent, the monies that they are charging you, they charge 2 years, 3 years. How do you expect? So this is what government should look at and say, okay, let me put up this housing structure so that it can be affordable for the youth to be able to, find a place to put their head. But then for me, Saglemi, this project that they have done at Saglemi and has been there for many years, even right now nobody is talking about it. It is there, just like that. It is this country's money that we used to do it. Now, if we want to talk about it, where it is, we don't have train systems, we don't have good transport systems where if you want to go and stay there and come to work in Accra, it is going to be convenient for you.
Sure.
You see, that tells us that we have failed. We should look at these things. If you can be living at Kumasi, and if a train is working, you can be coming to Accra to come work, or you can go to Kumasi to come and work, and be coming back each and every day.
Transport wouldn't be a problem.
Each and every day. So they should look at that for us as youth, please. We are suffering actually. Where I live, if I want to talk about it, it is going to be something else. But I think government should. It is not a shame to start. They should understand. They should let us. It's not like they should let us know the problem is there. They should accept that this is the problem, and then we want to start doing this so that it helps the people in the country. So, yeah.
Okay, so we have Kingsley Koesi Kinley, who is on Facebook saying that we are doing great. Thank you so much. You remember you can join us on our live feed on Facebook at Radio Guy Online, and in the comment section down below, you can leave your comments on our going and discussions, and don't forget to share our video and also like our page. We also have some other stories coming up shortly, but let's take a look at some of the stories inside the Daily Graphic. As Evans is taking us through, don't forget that you can find us on Facebook Live. It is Radio Guy Online. Just search for Radio Guy Online, and we are live right now. And also on YouTube, we are also live at Radio Guy Online.
Okay, so There is this story here. All customers of collapsed banks paid. I mean, 95% of savings and loans.
To clear this thing up, when we talk about financial institutions and banks and all that, I want to make it clear: Men's Gold is not part of it. Men's Gold is not part of it, because this morning I overheard somebody saying that, and almost say, almost ever two front space here, so Men's Gold for still Men's Gold, it wasn't part of the financial institutions and all that. Men's Gold issue is different. That's some issue there has a different crash.
See, me, when it comes to this Men's Gold issue and these scholars, I didn't have a problem. Why should we use our taxpayers' money to be paying these people?
Well, I think that is where the constitution comes in, as in what measures were put in place by Bank of Ghana before these financial institutions were created, before they did come to play, before they did come to work, before all of these costs were incurred. But whatever it is, I think the government has promised us one thing, that he's never going to use taxpayers' money to pay for Men's Gold customers' loss. He's not going to do that. The government is not going to do that. But if let's take a look at some of the banks that were the banks and the financial institutions that paid off their loans. Take us into that story.
Okay, so so it says 95% of savings and loans microfinance depositors settled. Bank of Ghana. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has said the receiver of the collapsed banks has settled all payments due depositors. The governor said 95% of the customers of savings and loans companies, microfinance institutions, and finance houses had also been paid their deposits and investment. Dr. Addison briefing the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the BOG yesterday on a number of issues in the financial sector, especially the banking crisis, said there was just about 5% of depositors of the non-banking financial institutions which had large amounts of money to be settled that were swapped with bonds which were to be retired over 5 years. He also indicated that there were a few delays regarding depositors of the GN Bank, GN Savings and Loans, and First Allied Savings and Loans, which were cleared last 3 weeks. The governor added that the government had provided a bond worth 1.7 billion, out of which 700 million Ghana cedis had been monetized, with which the receiver was also working at clearing the last people that were left in this segment. Okay, so yeah.
Well,
so, I mean, but then it's a good news anyway.
It's good news
if people, if 95% of these savings and loans, depositors of these savings and loans have been paid, it is a good news indeed. If it is true.
Okay, so let's look at some educational news now. The National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, says the plans by the government to provide wireless fidelity, that is Wi-Fi, in schools will help the educational sector. Now, Eric Angel Agbekabonu, who is the president of NAGRAT, said if the plan is well implemented by the government, it will take some challenges that teachers and students face in the teaching and learning environment. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, at the launch of the new Patriotic Party 2020 manifesto in Cape Coast last Saturday, promised that senior high school schools and tertiary institutions will be provided free Wi-Fi for their studies. Now, he also added, whilst he was at Peace FM yesterday, that it is not any big thing. Providing schools with Wi-Fi is not any big deal for the NDC, and that is a good news. Now, reacting to this particular story, the president of NAGRAT, in an interview, said that the promise means that it's a very huge challenge that is going to take a lot of burden on them, and that is the cost in acquiring and purchasing data. How how much do you think we are going to use in providing data that is free Wi-Fi for SHS and tertiary institutions? Now, some people are also saying that this is another scheme by the government to to lure in some funds by themselves, as this is also not really needed because students in senior high schools are not allowed to use phones anyway. So if it could work at the tertiary institutions. What do you think about that?
Well, provision of Wi-Fi, it is good. It's a good.
For senior high
You
schools.
see,
And
it's a good initiative. We are in the era of technology, and then we want our people to be technology inclined. Already, we have a problem in that sector where this country, I mean, we do not do nothing.
Before you go on, let me ask you: when you were in senior high school, how many times did you visit the computer lab?
Oh well, for us, we had a well finished ICT lab, and then I think every week we were going there once every week.
Once
Yes,
every
once
week.
every week.
And
Yes.
there was internet.
Well, to talk of internet,
Okay.
yes, there was internet. There was internet.
And you are being
There was
allowed to
internet,
go
but-
into the
but-
ICT lab for research.
Yeah, no, for that one, no. But then probably if your lecturer or your teacher is teaching you something related to that, then they allow you. But after that, the internet is cut. They don't allow us to use it. Yes.
Do you think it's as a result of the cost of data, or is as a result of trying to keep ICT clean for students with lots of youthful exuberance who would want to visit unappropriate or inappropriate sites?
That is also a point. Data is a factor because data is very expensive. We all know. We are even
Of course.
yes, you iPhone users, you know how much
Whether
data.
iPhone or iPhone.
No, but people complain a lot.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yes, so data is very expensive, and then I think currently or right now, our youth are on the internet. They are on all these platforms, Twitter, Instagram. So we have to, if government is going to do it, they need to regulate it and to ensure that these students are not using the internet for that thing, but then they will use it for the purpose that it is intended for.
Do you think it's achievable?
Why not? Why not?
achievable.
Why not?
I think it's
See,
achievable.
on all when you go to every university campus, we have it. Don't we have it? We
do.
have it, and it is working. But I think it is the universities that are providing their own internet. This time around, government is the one going to provide the internet for these senior high school students. It is a good initiative, but the point is that what is it intended for? And the intention is what we need to look at so that we ensure that they use it for the purpose for which it was given to them. Not to do social media. You see, because they had this little small internet, that is when they came out, they did videos to even insult the president. They did videos. Yesterday I saw a video where the food that was given to the GHS students, some people, I mean, placed the food on the floor and it was just like, saying certain things
saying
that are not...
prisoners wouldn't even...
You see that thing, and it is as a result of the fact that they have internet. That is why they are doing that.
Okay.
So if it will be used for the intended purpose, then I don't have a problem. It's achievable too. It could be done.
Okay, so now let's look at this story that is also on the front page of the Daily Guide. Special Prosecutor Martin ABK Amidu has fired Professor Kwamena Ahoy, saying the impressions he, Ahoy, created in his book that without him, Ahoy, the Rawlings-led PNDC military junta would not have achieved anything, is the figment of an infected mind. Now, the impression that if Mr. Kwamena Ahoy had not been born or had died, the PNDC would have ceased to exist upon his demise may be the product of a figment or of an infected mind, and everybody knows that nobody is indispensable in this world. Now, the world would move on without any of us, high or low, Mr. Amidu said. Now, let's discuss Mr. Amidu's claims on Ahoy having an affected mind, especially after his book. Now, his book seemed to be a strong hit, or what I say, should I say a strong hit or a main hit to former President Jerry John Rawlings, and according to him, Jerry John Rawlings shouldn't take all of the praises of his PNDC military regime. Now, what do you think of what Mr. Amidu said over Mr. Kwamina Ahoy's claims in his book?
Mr. Ahoy is an NDC person, and currently, just yesterday, we heard that he has been made the boss of the Forestry Commission or something. And I was even surprised. Hey, why are they doing that? Because it's the same thing even with Mr. Martin Amidu, who was an NDC and was made the special prosecutor. Yes, I mean, this Mr. Hoy and Rawlings back and forth, brouhaha and all that, they are not healthy. Some of these things that they are doing, it is not really healthy.
And have you heard that the former Jerry John Rawlings is also set to release a book?
Yes.
That I call it a little bit of political pettiness.
No, it is not really even important.
It's pettiness.
It is not important. To me, this issue is not important. Our problems are bigger and beyond than what they are doing. It's not important. Yeah.
He calls this book. He calls this book "Working with Rawlings." That is by Mr. Kwamina Ahoy. I personally haven't had the chance to read the book. I have seen a excerpt of it, and it all seems to be throwing bigger jabs at former President Jerry John Rawlings. But he also went on to say that Jerry John Rawlings misused late former President John Evans Atta Mills. Well, those are some of the stories that is. Please take us into some of the stories.
Yeah. So
into the Daily Graphic.
Yeah. One other story on education. Ghana card will replace guarantor system for students loan. Dr. Baumia is the one saying this, and let's get into the story. The government is to restructure the student loan scheme and replace the guarantor system with a system by which the national identity card, that is the Ghana card, will be used to track beneficiaries of the scheme. The objective of the new policy, according to the Vice President, Dr. Mahamadou Baumia, was to pave the way for many qualified students to access tertiary education, and he said there will be no guarantor because the guarantor system deprived many students the chance to further their education at the tertiary level. They cannot get people to guarantee for them because many do not want to risk their pension benefit. But with everyone having the national identity card, which will eventually become a person's tax identification number and social security national insurance trust SNIT number, a student with a card who is captured in the national database will be able to access the loan and later repay by installment after gaining employment. He said the vice president said this. He said this during an interview on an Accra-based radio station, Peace FM, yesterday. Dr. Baumia said on completion of school, beneficiaries would undergo 1 year national service, after which they would be given a grace period of another year before they would start the repayment of their loans. He acknowledged the fact that although the guarantor system enabled the scheme operators to trace beneficiaries, it also denied many of higher education. The vice president described the new system as one of the benefits of digitization, which ensured that a person holding the national ID card could be tracked.
That is a good one. I mean, people are actually.
Some people are against it.
They are against it because we know what government have promised. We know what they have been able to do. We know the country in which we live in. So it becomes difficult for us to accept certain things like this because.
No, but Fafa, you see, even as at now, we have many people who are owing student loan.
Yes.
They have not been able to pay back their loans.
Sure.
Even with the guarantor. So what is helping the student loan, I guess, is that the guarantors, they are taking the money from the pension benefit of the guarantors, and that is what is going to help them to take off the guarantor system. I also think it is going to worry because here in this country we are not able to track. If you give to somebody without guarantor, I mean, what happens? The person can decide not to pay. I don't know the system by which they are going to get back their monies though, but anyway, if it is going to also give many people the chance to get into tertiary to further their education, it will help us, because I have said that the bedrock or the backbone of this country is education. We need more people to have education to understand issues for themselves.
Okay, so in our final story in the daily guide, as part of efforts to sustain proper sanitation, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources (MSWR), in partnership with Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, has presented 5 double cabin pickup vehicles to the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Forces in the Ashanti region. Now, the move is to enable personnel of the two security agencies to monitor and ensure compliance with environmental bylaws in Kumasi and other parts of the region. At the handover ceremony at the forecourt of the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah says, "We are by this gesture appreciating effort of the police and the military in the fight to ensure clean environs of our towns." Now, you pointed out that it was important for Ghanaians to strive to practice good personal hygiene and also observe good sanitation practices. Now, according to him, the vehicles will go a long way to assist the fight to prevent outbreak of diseases and keep a healthy population to support the country's development agenda. And I think I agree, and I just hope these cars are going to be used for what they are being used for. So if you have the chance to grab a copy of the daily guide, you will see the cars that has been lined on at page 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beautiful cars that were in partnership with Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. They presented these 5 double cabin pickup trucks to the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Service, and I hope they are going to be using it for what they intended to do. And don't forget that we also have sports coming up shortly after our newspaper segment, and also we also have some other stories. Also in the daily graphic, in the daily guide. We have UCC Vice Chancellor comments ACG, and also Chieftaincy disputes threatens peace in the western region of Ghana. And also on page 14 we have Ghana Tourism Authority introduces guidelines for stakeholders. That is a COVID-19 story update. Now, according to the GTA, they have finally introduced the final COVID-19 health and safety protocols for the sector as a course of action to aid in tourism businesses to reopen. Now, according to GTA, that is the Ghana Tourism Authority, the protocols will be periodically updated under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. So that is it. That is all for the daily guide. Let's finalize on the daily graphic.
Another story on COVID. This one says the NCCE intensifies COVID-19 education campaign. Hey, NCCE.
NCCE, well.
The National Commission for Civic Education has intensified its mass sensitization and education campaign on the coronavirus disease after playing a key role in the fight against COVID-19 through community outreaches and group engagement. The Commission last week started a new strategy for its public education exercise in which it targets pedestrians and patrons of commercial vehicles. As part of the sensitization drive, the staff of the Commission have taken to the principal streets of Accra, including the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, the Tema Station, and Adabraka, to encourage members of the public to strictly adhere to the safety protocols on COVID-19. The civic educators hold placards with messages on COVID-19, alerting the public to observe the safety protocols to stop the spread of COVID-19 in the country. So you could see some of the civic educators here with their placards, and they are also beautifully dressed and in their nose mask as well.
Okay, so if you just join us on our live, remember you can leave your message down below and we will be able to read them for you. Don't forget to leave a like and leave a share also, because it is really important to us. Thank you so much, Evans, for coming through with the newspaper review. Sports follow shortly, and don't forget that you can like us, follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. This is still the Rise Up Morning Show. Stay tuned.
Ladies in the house, the man I'm a hustle to see the dollar bill. Me pa mo chow, me my baby on the house. Umpeduma doesn't matter how you feel. Yeah, this is the strength of a woman. Ain't nobody better than the boss chick. All the ladies who they fight for the moolah. What they will want, nobody for touch. Cause she know the phone quick. Self-made. What do you mean telling she cause she be well paid? On her boy, she looking for helpmate. Cause she know they suffer from sulfate. And when you are hell late, she go pull up on you. What's up with friend and I want my work as I wanna say, would you do my yard? I'm a hang out for you. When you walk by, I would them home. I would not get and I would die. They say, I got love for you. Now, I get the work I got. That's still I was a watch him. I would die.
Always on earth. This is Radio Guy.
I got the love for you. My last song, CD, I got bet on you. You got my body tap, and I know just any girl can go the place where you can go. Girl, I'm independent, and you buy your own things, and no man never rent you no can do. Where you come, so fine. 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 You can never pull a strong woman down. She got it all within a swan, I was sorry. Very confident, she never wear a frown. On Pessica, we no crash, you don't go worry. Oh, yeah, the gym, I got the money on her own. Nini next crash, she go treat you like a king. But you don't get it if you don't deserve the throne. Man, I come across money ain't a thing. We ain't come, man, I'm go shopping what you buy. I'm go for my baby, come to multiply. We ain't do my back, we got another on the side. On your know my girl, she can't be taken for a ride. You know, go if you pay the price, though. I got the love for you. My last song, CD, I got bet on it. Hey, you got my body tap, and I know just any girl can go the place where you can go. Girl are independent, and you buy your own things, and no man never rent you no can do. Where you come, so fine.
Always on earth. Radio Guy.
So fine. Where you come, so fine. Where you come, so fine. Where you come, so fine. You step in at the place and the whole of them freeze. You live up in a mansion and that never leaves.
Always on earth. This is Radio Guy.
The strength of a woman, you got fit to do everything. The strength of a woman, make it all a play.
Always on earth. This is Radio Guy. Radio Guy. Always on earth. Always on earth. This is Radio Guy.
Baby, say we find me chimpa. You don't want to make the better one, my wapo. It is a motion of my phone such a man a minye bio. Na minye bio, musubanyan so me pewa sara. Me don't want to make the better one, my wapo. Yes, musubanyan so me pewa sara. Me don't want to make the better one, my wapo, my wapo.
And I love you, I want you, I need you. There's no one above you, only one I love. Yeah, 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 yeah. And no matter the place or the time, forever, my baby. There's only one above. So me pay what's is it me drama boy? What's so me pay me don't want to be the rich
Kaida now you be me no. Kaida now teasing me no. Kaida now lucky me no. Who feeling me no? Who breaking me no? Kaida now you be me no. Kaida now teasing me no. Kaida now feeling me no. Who breaking me no? Take me away, now your body I go there. Take me away, now your body I want there. Far away, now your body I go there. Baby, take me away, only you go be my lover.
Baby, tell me what's up. Ooh, I really like your style. You go down, down. Oh, tell me what's up, yeah. Ooh, I really like your style, yeah. You got me moving, mana, mana. And I do be all of this in me so. Make I say now I'm feeling it. Sugar. And I do be all of this in me so. Make I say now I'm touching me. So friend me, baby, you. My D. So friend me, baby, you. My D. Me call me sugar daddy. Nama ya desa tofi. Oh friend me sugar daddy.
Take me away, now your body I go there. Take me away, now your body I want there. Far away, now your body I go there. Baby, take me away, only you go be my lover. Ooh. My lover, you go be my lover. When I see your face, it feel like say I see my mother. Girl, don't bother, cause there's no other. None of them come high for a whole heap of time, but they know nada. Every day me I gonna love you again. You go paint them well, they get skin pain. Every day me I gonna love you again. Baby. Every day me I gonna love you again. You go paint them well, them go get skin pain. Every day me I gonna love you again. Take me away, now your body I go there. Take me away, now your body I want there. Far away, now your body I go there. Baby, take me away, only you go be my lover.
I might check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Fine girl, make a sing for you. Make a sing for you. Do re mi fa sol la ti do do ti la so fa mi re do. The party they be fucking no darling.
Kaida now teasing me no.
All of that girls talking, they keep talking.
Kaida now lucky me no.
Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Baby, make a sing for you. Make a sing.
Take me away, now your body I go there. Take me away, now your body I want there. Far away, now your body I go there. Baby, take me away, only you go be my lover. Kaida now you be me no. Kaida now teasing me no. Kaida now lucky me no. Who feeling me no? Who breaking me no? Kaida now you be me no. Kaida now teasing me no. Kaida now feeling me.
Yeah. First time I can voice my pressure. They just wanna put me on the stretcher. Charlie mini sauce, mini ketchup. Still I was crushing on Vanessa. But see I got it all together. Feminine and I'm stacking all the cheddar. Since I'm an ex-girl, try me letter. Man, it's gonna take forever, cause and man, I'm a council. No matter that one count the app, I've been a parking. Me nam from, now we need me near them, and then me so far so I'm very relaxing. Yeah, we need my chassis, I want them young bread, yeah, I would to make a friend one go. Challenge, no new friends, me house, then I will find me the man foul. This is from my day one, down to the bottom, my C9, Pogasti, Angelo, my two lifesavers. When I'm with these, I'm a big time famous. Now, come on, Missy baby pop. Yeah, me to me forget the old boys. Me nam from no one come one. And yeah, Master Wood is a baby Rolls Royce. No way. First born, I'm a bleedy. na wukuta na mera na wu feel it. Charlie, way back na me bleedy. Bana wote sakumono na wu feel it. And the moon why they bleedy. Masa wu bleedy and I me feel it. Who bleedy and I me feel it. Who bleedy and I me feel it. Masa forget ya what they feel it. Masa who bleedy and I me feel it. Who bleedy and I me feel it. Who bleedy and I me feel it. Yeah. Masa forget ya what they feel it. Yeah. Charlie Bossy Jimmy they was that cow. Nya waya mama de man known to me cow. Afe ball me to me you will mouth. Me who you man go anya mianka won't doubt. Black Nana, Yamishira the bean count. Can ya whoop it? I mean, you be beam mouth. One bread, me Hundia, Mamuzu and count. I made this a mess. Cannot mean to your mouth. Yeah, we say within him, one day too. Comodina Cocotia, Kaku. Nanya Mess and the Brana will mess you. Loyalty, I'm sorry, I'm in the West. First, but me Bosia with him in Nimuson. And then we need Yatra with him tongue. Because I could have with him in Num, team balls, who a pesca. Say they say, won't pay me bean tongue. Okwa, which they won't have a pay me some poor. Facompai, Bomunenya by force. What one me pension, I said it to me a bois. Catch them in mini panegyro, of course. First, Pana me bleedy. Now we put up Panamera and I will feel it. Charlie, way back, I be bleedy. Bana what is a kumono na wu feel it. And then the moon why they bleedy. Masa who bleedy and I be feel it. Who bleedy and I be feel it. Who bleedy and I be feel it. Masa forget ya what they feel it. Masa who bleedy and I be feel it. Who bleedy and I be feel it. Who bleedy and I be feel it. Masa forget ya what they feel it.
Radio Guys. This is Radio Guys. Radio Guys. Radio Guys. Always online. This is Radio Guys.
About me all dancing, yeah we all dancing. Fire burn every girl that I never used to like my thing, never like my thing. Yeah. I'm in the corner with my brother, but she say she won't go. Yeah. I'm in the corner with my brother, but she say she won't go. Yeah.
Always alright. This is Radio Guys.
Fire burn every girl that I never used to like my thing, never like my thing. Yeah. I'm in the corner with my brother, but she say she won't go.
Always alright. Radio Guys.
Cemetery on me kai kai. You are my sunshine in the nighttime. You think say I blind, you be lie. I call you to say something and the lie. I call you to say something and the lie. You are my sunshine in the nighttime. Cemetery on me kai kai. You think say I blind, you be lie. In the walk, in the movement. You see the move in the walking. I live life, fuck talking. Me need time, no kasa. And you make kosher show, papa. In the walk, in the movement. You see the move in the walking. In the walk, in the movement.
Always alright. Always alright. Always alright. This is Radio Guy.
I'm in the corner with my brother, but she says she won't go. I'm in the corner with my brother, but she says
Radio Guy.
We used to be them boys at the backstage, hanging in the corner with a sad face. A man that don't give me, they never had faith. But they say the Charlie, we got bitches on a rampage. Motherfuckers never loved us. They say me fans beat, it's a sawdust. You pay the people show, they never call us. But they say on the show, they pull up in the car bus. We come on, man, I'm on my yawa town. But they say baby, I tell me sound. The man they boom so polygamy is going down. The bad energy now, the bad energy now, the bad energy now, the bad energy now, the bad energy, the bad energy, the bad energy, the bad energy.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, go. It's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, oh, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up.
Time check at 9:10 a.m. Prince Grona, David Prince is all set to bring us sport right here on the Rise Up Morning Show. Good morning.
Morning, MFA.
And I pay
Bibia Boko, Bibia Daddy. Baba number. Madam
will be now only the best at 3 months. Udri move was also me, Baba, then your COVID-19. Say,
Baba number. And then, so I'm back from a paper before the miniature.
Mate, now Bibia
Boko. Midday,
and pay a breakfast video.
Breakfast, breakfast, it's me, Bibia. Mamma, me to for down for that for one.
Mate,
I know Papa sis now for ready.
I said, and there was a document to
vote for opportunity bank, for Papa, sis, to for ready. And the moment down for no mood for them say, hey, I know Papa and mood for me, they made different for no Papa, is that they are choosing. No Papa, is that they are choosing. But it seems to the right time. Because the Papa 2-3 now I digest them.
And I know, you better a different best and form with the any Debbie. Eja, sports.
It was for your chairman radio guys with the Rise Up Morning Show. Me did the Prince going with my friend David Prince. Said I'm on some any if there are 2 pumps in the air Bremen. In some of the Dawson. By a shot here, Manchester United for Akachomo captain Maguire. In some I got 2 no Greece. I'm a national team call up on ya. Yes, they be on my uniform. So on your time, a man in 7 moments me and friend or papa so one or Sandra. There's a common man sent almost sentencing. I was jail by sentence and I come out suspending sentencing. Into I'm some command. And I'm actually assign every England squad in the moon. Into Manchester 40 to 1 gym. So I'm a bomber now. I'm going to train in Comona. In Penny for no to send them in 7 ever 2 on Manchester City for Aguero and Gajolamu share almost Jamia next season. The Amudomuni ever chair before fro and no sooner in some hall. Man City for so Amukofa Branch Koulibaly, African player and the board in defender, African defender and the board in Palm Koulibaly, who trained years come to cotton the Alpha Koulibaly by a champion Palm Koulibaly. Almost Cotton and some Mukoka, almost the Arigasia air count, no with a Quakoji, a branch Koulibaly now. Baba Bisia, almost as some media branch in its end, the media, almost says, Canon the Congo funny pen some of the player, ever count, Erica, some the neighbor count, Nagoji, a branch Koulibaly. Atletico Madrid, Thomas Partey, team, Minusu, Omupe, Arsenal 4 player, Lacazette, now Omonina Archie, Eddie Boom, no marshal. And on some other 2 of your Bobo, Munia Bray, Ebimusu, the are going on early no messing. Okwaya so atigan ni mpa antinu
nti wo say okay
nti na eba omi ade a odi tudwa na GF 400 omo pa omo ntuma keto kregward ba omo say omo head a omo de tu a program no mkoye su ndra no na eze catch them young na e din omo de tu su no catch them young referee omo have training nkola referee from 13 years to 16 years na omo have a referee and the juvenile football, and in your man up or the sound to just say, I'm not league in started juvenile football. And idea juvenile teams are now will not make your officiation fee.
Okay.
Or Muntia, because I cannot mutua referee by Obetia and in your man to so the Omu Aka when you are mobile idea or Mubetia officiation for another match in about Maba Namo and one referee, the referee to database. So, the referee fund to database in Suna. Omo etua omo ose pa mo so na nsem eba anum ndra one of the radio station, TV station, radio store, your interview was only GF assembly workers, no Mugusu, Omo in common, and I'm here about 1st September, and I be saying no to so no, the only about any problem. But GF one or two people, Omo, yes, I when I buy any year, 1 week to the election, and Uncle 4 individual Omo, yes, I am disqualifying. Into no the assembly called Switzerland, cars on ma, Omudi assembly, and don't buy any assembly by GF no, Uncle 4 Bakumi Nubina, almost shas here. One bomb, the bonus so ni momo pa, ni mom, but one bomb omudi, and found the tuja. And Abib Mohammed said, a benny, there's some waja, a babisi, a kayama Santico Toko, and a benny die, sumpa, say a Santico Toko, ever sign as a moa ejan. No babisi a kayama. Tom Gusua, Omna Samaja, Chuchun Conses, Casem no ye, Emma Samaja, or Pedia, or no, ever to train, ever no mobisi a kay album. Odatelam tendra because of the same to just say Siki Akono, Enkofa, in Kitiania, Siki Akono, Jumane, Diamond, Ghana 40 African Cup, Chepa, Afcona, Chepa, until so bit my menu, and your main focus, with Jumana G, Cap Nama Ghana, I've got almost 30 something years, me, I ain't mean G, Saka, into another dear, the football months, money, and call Afcon, no, unto me, and G, Emma Blaster, until I know I in semi if you say my idea, Abraham, no, Fantino. So, about me, I saw VTC parks in some of my studio, yeah, now, boy, a juvenile football.
And then infrastructure.
Yeah,
that's it. That was Prince Guna bringing us sports right here. Rise Up Morning Show. Still on, and of course, up next, we have business tips coming on. Are you an entrepreneur? Well, this is the place where you are supposed to log on because we share with you every bit of entrepreneurial skills that can help you. It is not taught in classrooms. It is not taught anywhere, but only here on Radio Guy Online. Stay tuned.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they call me Eugene.
I love it.
Oh wow. Rockstar. Baby, you gon' kill me shy.
Always
You
on
want to blow my
This
mind.
is Radio
I don't
Guy.
know. My baby won't go. Baby, you gon' kill me shy. You want to blow my mind. Oh, I don't know. My baby won't go. You don't want me no more. You don't want me no more, girl. You don't want me no more, cause when you're there, yeah. You don't want me no more. You don't want me no more, girl. You don't want me no more, cause when you're there, yeah. Me and you be out to sell, I'm out to tell. It's your day, and now when you meet my wife, now say what if say won't find me, cause you're treat ya. And you can't dream, you're not me, baby, power. Girl, you told me not to bother. And the rest of the way I'm bola. And the rest of the way I'm bola. And the rest of the way I'm bola. Girl, you told me not to bother. And the rest of the way I'm bola. And the rest of the way I'm bola. And the rest of the way I'm bola. You don't want me no more. You don't want me no more, girl. You don't want me no more, cause when you're there, yeah. You don't want me no more. You don't want me no more, girl. You don't want me no more, cause when you're there, yeah.
Ushame na wo se me ne wudi ase. Wo ne me bete na ko si me wie ye. Ene me nya kranka me ma me ti ase. Ma me wudi me ni je na ko hyesie ye. Oba ne twema me se bi si kenti. Ahokyere bae na we yi me baako. We jame na wakofa ko fi jemfi. Ma me sane ba we chi o na me wura ho. Oba ne di me wu. Wa jeje me kokko so akoja me so breni. Ye wo be ye me mesi de na me hu. Nto baby betu mi aka no kureni. Na tese mi di sika ka mi di dofu bia. Obi be pe me se nya mi tia. Ana ji se mi nya sika daima. We hear my machine me the for diner. I feel he never can say.
You don't want me no more. You don't want me no more, girl. You don't want me no more, cause when you're dead, you don't want me no more. You don't want me no more, girl. You don't want me no more, cause when you're dead, yo, you told me not to bother, bother. And I said, why am I bother, bother? And I said, why am I bother, bother? And I said, why am I bother, bother? Yo, you told me not to bother, bother.
Always
and I said, why am I bother, bother?
It's radio guy. Always online. This. Always online. This is radio guy online.
Say you gangsta, tonight you meet a meter. Make you call me a master. I shock you up, baby. Hasta la vista, boy, I'll see you later. I hope you go do one better. I shock you up, baby. Yana na papa mami, yana ria for mami, yana na ja for mami. We feel you, baby. Yana na papa mami, yana ria for mami, yana na ja for mami. We feel you, baby. Come over, let's take a ride on the sofa. The night is young, baby, unleash your cobra. I feel the ashes, 1 minute, bang, get me sober. So we are a Pedro. See, we are no malomo.
Always online. This is radio guy.
Yana na ja for mami, we feel yo, papa binti. Yana na pa for mami, yana ria for mami. Yana na ja for mami, we feel yo, papa binti. Sell, 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 sell.
Always online. Always online. Radio guy online.
Say you gangsta, tonight you meet a meter. Make you call me a master. I shock you up, baby. Hasta la vista, boy, I'll see you later. I hope you go do one better. I shock you up, baby. Yana na pa for mami, yana ria for mami, yana na ja for mami. We feel you,
Always online. This is radio guy.
she on the beat.
Always online. This is radio guy.
We there on top, we know the flop. Higher we go, we just there make them wonder, just like Stevie Wonder.
Always online. This is radio guy.
And shoot, go whoa, and shoot, and shoot, go whoa, and shoot, yeah, and shoot, go whoa, and shoot, see and shoot, go whoa, and shoot, oh na 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 na.
In LA, it back the boo. It back the boo. In LA, it back the boo. It back the boo. In LA, it back the boo. It back the boo. In LA, it back the boo.
Nobody can help you when you down. When you on top, that be when they go bring you down. Yeah, I came, I saw, and I conquered, and I speed them up like rockets. Now when do me be the target? Yeah, it depend them say how they look like. You know, see my hips, no deny. It depend them say I get hits on. Into Tsunami, yo, Tsunami, yo, Tsunami, yo, Nami, yo, Nami, yo. Into Tsunami, yo, Tsunami, yo, Tsunami, yo, Nami,
them diabetes. This music go brush them cavities. I know the liar. I'm gonna dance like Michael Jackson. We go fight them like Mike Tyson. And my friend they go see paparazzi. Taking pictures, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Let's see about the sing. I can now Woody, my girl. Whoop away now, whoop a check. Go on and shoot, yeah.
And shoot, go on and shoot, and shoot, go on and shoot, yeah, and shoot, go on and shoot, see and shoot, go on and shoot, oh na 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 na.
In LA, it back up, boo. It back up, boo. In LA, it back up, boo. It back up, boo. In LA, it back up, boo.
Tsunami, oh.
It back up, boo. In LA, it back up, boo.
Always online. This is Radio Guy. Always online. Always online. Always online. This is Radio Guy.
Hey, success, your body the baby. This kind of body where they make I lose my mind. With chimpo the kumi. Hey, you are such a
Always online. This is Radio Guy.
This is Radio Guy. This is still the Rise Up Morning Show. Before we wrap up, let's get into some business tip for the day.
body where they have all my dick. I never see anybody.
Everybody in a particular way is trying to start an online business. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants a side hustle. But there are some people who are actually successful with it, and others tend to give up in the middle of the road. They tend to stop and they tend to pause, probably because of pressures, stress, and things that they do not expect. But if you're on your way to become a successful entrepreneur, there are a couple of things that you are supposed to know. You are supposed to ensure, you are supposed to practice, and you're supposed to have at the back of your mind. Ask. No manual in becoming successful. Somebody started with 300 Ghana cedis. The person is now successful. Somebody started with 5 Ghana cedis. The person is now successful. Somebody even started with no money at all. The person is still successful. Somebody started with 1,000 Ghana cedis and the person failed. Somebody started with 20,000 Ghana cedis and the person still failed. But if you are an entrepreneur who is looking at being successful, the first thing you have to get at the back of your mind is perseverance. You have to persevere no matter what. When you have the spirit of perseverance, it becomes difficult for challenges to break you. It's difficult for you to lose focus on that particular goal you set your eyes on. If you are going to be persevering, then that means on days that you are going to be encountering low sales, days that you are going to be, incurring huge losses, you are going to be still persevering, to hold on, because you want to be successful. Success is not something for the faint-hearted. So if you want to be successful, remember that you have to be strong-hearted. You have to be as strong as a horse before you will be able to get on the long list of successful entrepreneurs that has ever been recorded. Watch out for some of the things. We read a lot of books about money. We read a lot of books about starting a business. But I don't think any of them stress on the fact that you should be ready and you should prepare for financial challenges. It could be financial losses, it could be bad debt, it could be anything that will put your finances negative. No matter what, there are supposed to be financial challenges. These financial challenges, according to research, is one of the things that deter lot of people from continuing their journey on becoming an entrepreneur. Are not ready for any financial challenge. I don't think you have the heart to be a successful entrepreneur. You have to prepare for financial challenges. Maybe on days that you're recording low sales, it could be a bad investment, it could be a bad debt, it could be, loss of finances. Anything could happen. You could just ask for a huge consignment. You might pay for it, your money wouldn't come back, your goods wouldn't come back. Any which way, I would prepare for a financial loss.
Sing for you like
that we always fail to do is to compare our startup business to somebody who has been doing it for a year, 2 or 3. You always want to have that big picture of, oh, I want to be successful like this particular person. But you always have to remember that you are a startup business. You need time, you need time to gather all of those experiences before you can be like the person you are looking up to. It's difficult. You always have to get it at the back of your mind that you are a startup, so you have to be very frugal. You know that what I do, I'm a startup, I'm going to incur some losses, I'm going to go through some challenges. When I'm going through these challenges, it doesn't mean that they are supposed to break me, but I should remember that I am a startup.
murder, it's a murder. If you touch my baby, then it's a murder.
I actually believe in mentorship, but when it comes to entrepreneurism or entrepreneurship, you always have to get a trusted mentor, somebody who can give you advices financially, business wise, or any other way. You should have a mentor. It could be somebody who is in line of the same business that you are in, somebody who has record of a successful business, somebody who has been through it all, able to give you some of the tips. Don't forget to ask for help, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because you asking for help shows that you are ready to do whatever to be successful. And when you are asking for help, ask for help from people who would be able to give you genuine advices, and people who can be flexible on you when it comes to finance. You don't want somebody to give you money, give you a loan, ask for it in the next week. You are a startup business. You always have to talk to somebody or ask for help from somebody who is willing to help, somebody who has the patience, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Tomorrow we'll bring you more tips on how to be a successful entrepreneur right here on the Rise Up Morning Show. Big shout out and big good morning to Christopher Mensah inside the hills from Asuricals, Rita Ned inside Kaswa, and also Michael inside Kaswa also the same way, and also a big happy birthday to Antoinette Dagadu inside Teshi Ndongwa area. Today is your 22nd birthday. Have a great day. Have a great day. Have a health sense of the day following shortly. Stay tuned. Yebekwa kweshe kula sweet pie ya kwa popela eche wana fiti baby ebe ete no kono bi ya mi to wo fu we ya tmasiye ye ma ko me drop ba mi mo wudi ya de beso so latigo so latigo. It's our fair mammy, Kabibi, ya Tomasier. Don't touch it, ya no so ya fade. But get a show. Although you women will well, eh, Mamatia. Although you women will well, Lincoln Brunier. Why did I not so be them way? Like a mere, like a mega say. Why did I not so be them way? Like a mere. Why did I not submit them?
When you grow a solo around the arm, I pay. Benjana me fanta, Benjana me fanta.
you with me, they will grow. Hey, Magumatia. Although you with me, they will grow. Make me go. Why did that not so be there? I can be a day, I can make a say. Why did that not so be there? I can be a day, I can make a say. I can be a day, I can make a say. Why did that not so be there? I can be a day, I can make a say. Respect Ghana, a bottom of pie. But to boom, box, get it, say.
Yo, love out, best make a pit. Want me come with it? Mama, who's a pit? 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 Who's a pit?
Pilolo, give me the pilolo. Spread your leg like a wheelbarrow. Pilolo, give me the pilolo. Wonderful pilolo, and spread your leg like a wheelbarrow. Cha, baby, make you know cha. I see you there like a bulldozer, yeah. Me fan cha, make you know cha.
I bring that down, me kinda shake a kid. Me yo love out, best make a pit. Me come with it. Mama, who's a pit? I bring that down, me kinda shake a kid. Me yo love out, best make a pit. But me come with it. Mama, who's a pit?
This your baby beat it back, I beat it back. For your tundra, I be fitter. No need to play games with these two balls for your back. We I be pro there if you far. If she press play, you know if you press pause. What she do with the on, let's go. Charlie, body protection be like a first course. Post to no two or in a to cementos. You see the girl in back. If I get am for my yard. Charlie, they do not too big. You they watch very close, she did Gialanta. But then when she start they work sharp. I just say pump for me no. Charlie, if I get a one-on-one when nobody comes, she go scream, oh my God. Nation.
Your back a light to my popo. What did they do me? I don't know. Why you go send me? I go. Cause I think you they carry girl in the bug dozer. Your back a light to my popo. What did they do me? I don't know. Why you go send me? I go. Cause I think you they carry girl in the bug dozer.
You see the girl in back. If I get am for my yard. Charlie, they do not too big. You they watch very close, she did Gialanta. But then when she start they work sharp. I just say pump for me no. Charlie, if I get a one-on-one when nobody comes, she go scream, oh my God. Okay, no P, Charlie, be so she did. She did speak Spanish, she and I be. But for some kwan, baby, take it easy. Missing me, they be my woo. I be your lamide. Girl, if you no say your body. Make you follow me, you go fi make me your daddy. You know be so notice if you bring in your parties. Make you chill small, so pressure fit the boy then. Make you start the talk, say you see the girl in back. If I get am for my yard. Charlie, they do not too big. You they watch very close, she did Gialanta. But then when she start they work sharp. I just say pump for me no. Charlie, if I get a one-on-one when nobody comes, she go scream, oh my God. Nation.
Your back a light to my popo. What did they do me? I don't know. Why you go send me? I go. Cause I think you they carry girl in the bug dozer. Your back a light to my popo. What did they do me? I don't know. Why you go send me? I go. Cause I think you they carry girl in the bug dozer.
You see the girl in back. If I get am for my yard. Charlie, they do not too big. You don't watch when she did Gialanta. But then when she start they work sharp. I just say pump for me no. Charlie, if I get a one-on-one when nobody comes, she go scream, oh my God. Nation.
Your back a light to my popo.
It's Dub Nation.
Why you go send me? I go.
Ish.
You back like you a popo.
Ish.
What you dey do me, I don't
It's me too, bitch.
Why you go send me a popo? Cause the thing you did, I didn't get
If you ever cry, on my knees I'm calling. I need you right now. Dear God, if you ever cry, I'm on my knees I'm calling. I need you right now. Lord, make a blow. Lord, make a blow. Yeah. Make a blow. Yeah. Make a blow. I feel the Miami show. Miami show. Yeah. Miami show. Yeah. Miami show. Money with the hey, into me, into me, into me. I go in there, I just said, what? It could have been me gone, but I'm still here, so I'm so grateful. I'm humble, set, so down to earth. I'm like a man, no leg. Man, no leg. I had another D's gone, but I'm still here, so I'm so grateful. I'm humble, set, so down to earth. I'm like a man, no legs. Man, no legs. Tonight I'm crying on my knees. The year just started, Lord, I need you. I wish this fight was all for me, but if I should force it, Lord, I lose it. And if you ever cry, on my knees I'm calling. I need you right now. Dear God, if you ever cry, I'm on my knees I'm calling. I need you right now. Lord, make a blow. Lord, make a blow. Make a blow.
Always online. This is Radio Guy.
Miami show, Miami show, Miami show. Money with the amin to me, hey, min to me, I go in there,
what else?
I just said,
Probably be pumping. Yankopon ma hwe ni ma che na bie kwan ma me pete won go sira no ne bi nka me ne butu ana mo akobo me dia no ma ne ndane. Dear God, I bebo me shit ain't funny. 2017 me din ko to make a blow. The bush pressure no do fun chale me pedo. Yeah, the bulldozer bubu me destiny sound so breaking me motivation and me the sorry jotting me flow. So what you really want from me nigga do? Keep it 100. To jump on your man, I need a miracle. So
Dear God by B for Bona, featuring our very own Sarkodie. And on a health tip for the day, do you know there are some foods that naturally can overcome high blood pressure? They are naturally created to help regulate your high blood pressure. Every single day, somebody dies of high blood pressure. There are parents, aunties, and the aged who are suffering from high blood pressure. But there are foods that if you incorporate in your daily dieting could help you to overcome this particular fall. I know it's a fall because it's really uncomfortable when your BP is high, when your blood pressure is high, or when you are being told your blood pressure is high. The first thing among the list of foods that can help lower your blood pressure is leafy greens. Contumely is an example, cabbage is an example. Anything that has chlorophyll, anything that is green, is one step away from helping you lower your blood pressure or normalizing your blood pressure. Berries such as blueberries are also very rich in natural compounds called flavonoids, also help to reduce your blood pressure. Now, amazingly, red beet or beetroot, that is what we popularly call it, has been researched and found out to know that it helps reduce your blood pressure or normalize your blood pressure. So you can add it to your salads, you can add it to your smoothies, you can add it to your juices, or you can eat it like that. But be careful because it is naturally pigmented and it could pigment your hands or your tongue or even your teeth. So it's advisable that you add it to your salads or you juice it out and you add it to your smoothies or your juice. Now, in other ways too, skim milk and yogurt and also bananas and oatmeal have been known and found out to help you to reduce your blood pressure. So skim milk, yogurt, and oatmeals, bananas also are great foods that can also help you to reduce your blood pressure. Now, when it comes to protein, fish, including salmon, mackerel, and fish with omega-3 oils are also known to reduce blood pressure or normalize it drastically. And if you know anybody suffering from high blood pressure, you know anybody who has that particular problem, you can help that person by inculcating leafy grains, berries, red beet, skim milk and yogurt, oatmeal, bananas, salmons, mackerel, and fish with omega-3 oils into their dish. This is how we wrap up on today's edition of the Rise Up Morning Show on Radio Guy Online. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Radio Guy Online. My name is Judith Emefa Igbafa, and of course, thank you so much. And thank you for Kingsley, who is also behind our Facebook Live, and also for Evans passing through with also our newspaper review. I will come your way same time tomorrow. Don't forget to say a prayer at any time you have. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Stay tuned.
I wonder, mommy, give it to me now. Baby, my teacher, can't hold about Tinko. Oh, my girl, Mariana, can't harm me to my promo. Yeah, you gon' claim Medina. You can't knowledge of December. Then on the bump of tomato. Oh, now me down, I'ma go smooth. Hennessy, pretty girl, wine from my thighs.
Always online. This is Radio Guy.
Always
online. This is Radio Guy.
Before here with the blow high time, Joe Magayomo.
One year while I song, can't forget I cry.